Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi, Keith from group 5, which is want to present about the complementary currency in social, environment, economic and political system. Okay, I introduce our team with me, Muhammad Farhan bin Cik Muhammad Norli, and the last but not least is Muhammad Fikri bin Rosli.
When speaking about the complementary currency, this is shown a number of overlapping and often interchangeable terms are in use, which is the local or community currencies. There are complementary currencies that use with a locality or the other form of a community. Regional currency are similar to the local currency, but are used with a larger geographical region. And the sector of the currency are complementary currency that use with a single economy sector, such as education and also healthcare. Many private currency, such as the uses by private business or organization. Complementary currency organization also have a clear identify about the social purpose. To be is to improve the local economy, provide the elevation and improve the volunteer participation, and also the sector of the yachts and the elderly service. What is complementary currency? A complementary currency is a currency that is not a national currency but has absent for use in the specific condition in a nation. A complementary currency is not in standard for use and the primary means of exchange in economy that is set up by private citizen, advocacy groups or public regulatory bodies to create a parallel market for specific goods and services within a specific geographical region. Okay, in other terms, a complementary currency are not instant to replace a domestic currency of a nation. Depending on the type of complementary currency, there are several distinct disadvantages that are compared to the nation currency, including the facts of they may be limited in terms of usage and depending on the issuing process, prone to the volatility and inflation. Instead of offering of a true alternative currency, most complementary currency have a social goal that are limited in scopes. Okay, one of the famous example of a complementary currency is a bed share. Okay, what is bed share? Bed share is a local currency that are only used in the Berkshire regions. Okay, they are set up as an experiment by non-profit organization to encourage local spending investment. Now, more than 400 business that are upset with the Berkshire as a form in the payment.
Okay, right now we go deeper about the specify the kind of complementary currency. Okay, the first one, as you can see at the slide, the complementary currency have a value scales that are based on the time or backed by real world resources. For example, the resources in the real world that we know as a good, like a gold, oil, the good services, and other than that is the most widely used auxiliary currency system was established in 1982 and is still in use for today. It governs trade of products and services between the cooperative members and their associates. For example, that I can give it to you is supplemental currency investment system include the automatic social financial network. We call it, the short name is ASFN, and the worldwide crowd sourcing and crowdfunding community evolution, and both of that have their own complementary virtual currency. like a cyber gold. The third one is some or we can call sort of the complementary currency have their own or they take their own demurrage cost. We can define the demurrage cost is the charge payable to the owner of a chartered ship on failure to load or discharge the ship within the time in the agreement that they made it for each other from each other. Okay, is the specify of a complementary currency that we can see is complementary currency have a high interest fees are used to encourage intense competition between participants. We can see for the high interest fees are charged by, or we can see just the certain in complementary currency only, as well as the removal of wealth from long-term and wealth holding structures. The activities of monetary speculation and gambling are often beyond the bounds of complementary currencies. So what they do in carbon credit, the sale of extra credit between companies has developed into a thriving sector. The result that we can determine is carbon credit can be transformed into a supplemental currency. So the last but not least is complementary currencies may also be based on time or talents. The type of this is more than formalizing a barter system or channeling community effort to areas of significant need, among other things. For example, people in Japan are being encouraged to assist seniors in their communities in exchange for transferable credit that can be exchanged for the time to others in the system. Example that we can explain more to the next slide. Okay, so right now we go the next slide, which is the importance of complementary currencies. As important that we can see or we can determine from the usage of complementary currency is the value of the debt value of complementary currency can have their own ability to what? To diversify the function and responsibilities of money. Because of that, the normal currency system that we use right now, as we aware, the connection between culture is reduced, can reduce or degraded to a state of purely economic exchange. The second important that we can see is developing a system of economic that is to avoid of interest. Complementary money may serve as a platform for transaction as well as a source of interest-free funding that we call as a riba. So the complementary currency can avoid riba because they don't have any interest. The one of the most important function that we can see from the usage of a complementary currency is to instill new ideas in people's mind, which is in our minds. We already know about that the money, despite the fact that is the standard economic holding, is not valueless. It also has impact on the connection that exists between the people who utilize money. That we want to explain is the function of complementary currency is to protect the local economy while also empowering local communities. Conventional, or we can call it as a national currency system, are susceptible to a variety of ebbs as well as fluctuation and instability. Complementary currency are exclusively distributed in certain communities and are used for a specific reason. Last but not least is about the providing a system for economic development that is both sustainable and robust. It is very efficient since it based on a single centralized money system. However, a single system that is highly efficient will not have long endurance. A complementary currency system may be used to build a diverse range of money systems that are mutually supportive of one of another. So right now, let's go through about the comparison between complementary currency with fiat money. Category or categorize from comparisons is the first one is local redevelopment and sustainability should be managed. Okay, we can simplify as their ability to regeneration of management. Okay, for the complementary currency, the context and form of local community currency is various, but in the general, users share a belief in the power of people to shape their local economy, society, and environment. So they depend also the pupil of, or we can call the power of pupils. Okay, when the fiat money have been set, and also their unit have accepted to do the transaction in the whole countries, it may be charged, it may be changed and affected by other units. Okay, the second category is from the perspective for the futures. Okay, for the complementary currency have a lack of evidence for we can call complementary currency may be very useful and bring the impact in the society. So we lack to determine, to recognize that complementary currency very useful because they has not more dividend, not more evident can improve the truth of the complementary currency very useful and can give the big impact in society because the complementary currency has changed depend on the political environment. When the fiat money did not change, which is did not impact, even though the government have changed of a taxation. For the complementary currency, local community currency scheme, the complementary currency scheme, which is LETS, is taken into account as earning and can affect eligibility for job seekers allowance and may affect its ability to contribute to the livelihoods of the poorest household. When the fiat money, the taxation of on fiat money may be different due to the inflation and deflation of the economy in the country. Categories for comparison is about the consumer safeguard. Currencies such as lead and time bank do not pose any risk to consumer protection and there should not affect the government ability to manage the economy, which is complementary currency. The government did not give the guarantee or did not give protection for a consumer because they depend on their buy side, because if complementary currency effect for consumer is that not effect for a government or the country. When the when the fiat money have a backup system by the government in the case of losing in the amount in the account. Okay, for example, the next one is we want to explain about the market power is limited, which is the category from comparison between complementary currency with fiat money. So what the meaning of the market power is limited because complementary currency have territorial limits. They can be they can be applied only in a specific geographical area. They can also be limited to a community. The circulation and value of currencies must be validated by the voluntary adherence of the system. Such as, for example, in France, with the local currency, which is the ABL, the measure, the SOL, violet, etc. They promote direct consumptions uh, toward socioeconomic partners who respect social and environment criteria that have been incorporated into charter after application of selection criteria, which when fiat money used to be defined in economy as the instrument of exchange or trade, which is the main instrument for the economic purpose. Okay, the next one is the boost can from comparison between that we can see is boost the local economy. So for the complementary currency that I can make it short, which is CC. Complementary currency legitimacy can be advantageous to us in terms of regional development. Indeed, in the constrained territorial in whom they can be used, this currency can have a beneficial effect on the local economics. When for the fiat monies, fiat money system, they have their private banks controlled by for the creation of credit and money, and conventional money is a private capture of a public good. This result we can see in fiat money that have the scale and that promotes competitions. Also, the fiat money system encourages the competition and underemployment of resources. If fiat money is scarce, they may not be enough to cover all the potential exchanges that might productively occur. Okay, the last but not least is free from interest. Complementary is interest free and senior each generally occurs to the issuers within the community. This implies that the benefit of the complementary currency exchange system are accrued to the community at large to support community cooperation when or while for fiat money, control of the creation of money is in a private bank, which is from the governments. If Malaysia, from governments, which is the central bank Malaysia, in the current system, interest and seigniorage accrues to the bank and their private shareholders and customers. The current system leads to an increasing concentration of wealth. For example, that we can see World Bank apply interest rate for the customer or users. Okay, right now we go through about the examples of complementary currency in current situation right now. Okay, the first one is the Furai Kipu. When we said about the Furai Kipu, we know that that system in this system are from Japan, because we know already the Japanese languages like that. Furai Kipu. Furai Kipu can we translate in English is as a ticket for a loving connection, which is for example, when participants get an electronic cash for every hour of work they put into assist and all the person who has a disability. This one for the oldest one who has not have any ability to work anymore. Once the credit has been earned, it is stored in online clearing house and may be redeemed whenever the member is in need of medical attention themselves. They also can pass their point, which is we can simplify as point, to someone else, that needy persons. Japan to implement the Furakipo or to strengthen the Furakipo, we can see right now there are more than hundreds of institutions that are members of the system and accept the credits of the Furakipo system, and also the system also extended to other nations in Asia where there is an older population, including Japan.
On helping an elderly or a handicapped person. It's a time-based currency where 1 hour of these kind of services you get into your account. The first application is, let's say I have a flu, and I give a phone call and someone picks up my kids that are part of the network. It's not just an unknown person, it's someone I can rely on, right? Now, what's fascinating is that they made a survey among the elderly people themselves. The relationship is different. That little old lady in my street represents my mother. So if her rice needs to be cooked a little more, I will do that. That feels itself. They perceive that. So we have actually a demonstration here that different types of money create different relationships rather than competition.
Including Japan. Okay, the second one is the Berkshire. The Berkshire obviously from USA, which is United States, which is American. Also, the Berkshire is one of the most successful local currency effort. They begin at 2006, which is from 7 branch office of 4 local banks. The resident of a Berkshire may exchange for 95 USD for 100 Berkshire. Until they can make to share with the Berkshire, you can get also 1 USD for 1 Berkshares. Okay, the Berkshire are issued by a non-profit corporation, non-profit organizations to improve the Berkshire regional economy through the local currency initiative. As we can see right now, the Berkshire initiative is part of a... Okay, right now we go through about the examples of complementary currency that started in the United Kingdom at 2006 and swiftly expanded across the United States. Is an initiative aimed to be building resilience in the face to speak on climate change and economic uncertainty. Okay, the next one is Torekes. Torekes is most obvious from Belgium, which is for the resident or participants who don't have affected by urbanizations, which is immigration from the town to the village. So when they have their own places at the town, so they must sell their own places to a government. So they request to governments to make a few square yards of land for gardening, growing vegetables and flowers to for themselves to survive. So the Torekes was introduced to improve all about the agriculture systems, and like to pick actions such as building flower bowls on window sills facing the street, planting and maintaining sidewalk, and all about the agriculture network. Torekes were also accepted at the local merchants for certain goods that the city wanted to promote, such as low energy lighting, green items, and fresh seasonal vegetables. Torekes can also be traded for public transportation tickets and tickets to cultures or entertainment events.
Complementary currency in economic system. The social economy has two main points. For the first, the economy element dictates the production of the products and service by the business. Okay, this is the contribution to the creation of the values and general well-being. Okay, in the economic system, profit, which is a focus toward to the economy that helps us as a counterpoints. It is essential to the comprehensive that use the component in the tandem. The social profit can be regarded as the economy profits, and the economy profit can be understood as the social profit. Okay. The contribution of a specific economy activity to the development, such as the support of the civil projects, the improvement of the life standard and welfare, and the creation of the new employment is the use to the access of the social profitability. Okay, now second, economy that have completed their transition from a center to a market economy during the last 2 decades have seen a growth in the number of the social business in the modification of third sector terms. This highly developed entrepreneur of the environment characteristic of the social entrepreneurship as an activity that can combine or business goal, which is the social economy goals. Okay, as a regular business, economic growth has provide goal and form on the entrepreneurship. The economic system is about the major activity is to achieve the social beneficial goal. Okay, in the economic system of the complementary currency, there are 3 examples that have highlight about the successful of the complementary currency system in the economy system. Okay, for the first is about mutual credit system. A mutual credit system is essentially a group. This is about a group agreement to adopt a certain unit of account to make sure the worth of the product and service. It is complemented with an according system that record all the group's transaction. Next, second is about the convertible local currency. Convertible currency such as a Brixton pounds. The Brixton pound is as a change into a backed by the national currency, effectively turning them into electronic and or the other paper vouchers for national currency. Participating swaps the national currency. That is the example of the in the national of the British pounds. Okay, the British pound is for a local counterparts, which they can use the British pounds to buy a products, goods, and service from the local business. Okay, and the last in the economic system is a part of the cryptocurrency. Okay, cryptocurrency is a growing variety of a complementary digital crypto that has allowed for the sale, recording of the transaction, and the production of money via an escalated distributed database or the ledger. This feature distinguish is a cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin's token as more editable and less prone to a government of the private institutions. Scope of polity in complementary.
Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital currency. It is also sometimes referred to as a virtual currency or a cryptocurrency. Bitcoins are held in a digital wallet and can be sent over the internet. Bitcoin transactions are authorized using a digital signature. The transactions are verified, usually within minutes, by a network of miners. Once verified, the transaction is permanently stored on a public ledger, known as the blockchain. Fees for Bitcoin transactions are relatively low compared to traditional ways of commercially transferring money over the internet. Bitcoin was started in 2009. It follows the ideas set out in a white paper released under the name Satoshi Nakamoto. There are no physical Bitcoins, only balances associated with public addresses. The balance of each address can be viewed on the public blockchain, which keeps track of all transactions. Each address has an associated private key, which is used to authorize transactions. The key should be known only to the owner. Bitcoin can be bought on exchanges. It is legal in the United States and most countries. However, Bitcoin regulation is not yet well formed. It is accepted as payment by some local merchants and online retailers. New Bitcoins are released through a process called mining. Anyone can participate in mining with a computer using free open source software. The interval at which coins are released is kept constant by the network, and because of this, the more miners that participate, the harder it is to mine. The amount of coins being released at each interval is decreased by half around every 4 years. The total amount of coins released will approach 21 million.
Currency. Complementary currency is a design do not aim to supplant legal tender, but rather cater to some of the parts of the economy that legal tender for one reason or another. There is another is not able to support. Complementary currency have emerged to the boundary space at the edge of the nation state and macroeconomic policy. Okay. For the first, the policy in complementary currency fail because they are dominant economic system to serve the workers part of the economy, stimulators and the later into action of the true creative mixture of social, entrepreneur and monetary innovation. Okay. For the in this perspective policy, we can call it is about the low politics or micro political, that's activity in social exchange perform a relation of everyday life. So they are reorganized as a political, but their impact on broader social system is not prudential and not stable in the political system. It is remain open the debate whether alternative politics, which partly is transformed, challenge, escape or divides from the ruling and mainstream modern of political action. So the modern action of political action affects only certain interaction and structures, or in can combine with the other political energy to intellect systematic transformation or large-scale social in the struggle of economy politics system. One example in the scope of politics of complementary currency is about the SARDET. SARDET is an electrical mainly is B2B, which is business to business. That was mutual credit circuit that started operation in Sardinia in 2009. Was formed by an for-profit company of the same name in direct response to the last crisis. Now it is a complementary currency that is used alongside in the euro and quantities of the zero interest credit that are participating in the small or medium size in the enterprise, which is SME enterprise or extend to the other another mutually. Okay. SARDET is about the political economic strategy that can open up new form of a liberatory potential for common people in the North Asia in the North and Europe. To the extent the users become aware of the greater power of the system affordable them. This is initially in the form of the money creation power, but they could not be linked to the participatory governance or greater democratic in the social through the growing reorganization within a circuit that is replaced in their economy.
Okay, the next one is we want to explain about the market power is limited, which is
How did the meeting with the entrepreneur go?
It was entertaining. But I didn't really take him seriously. He had this crazy idea about creating a parallel money system composed of many complementary currencies.
What was his pitch?
He thinks the forms of money we use are going to change. Presto. And that he and his team will be there to connect the dots between all these new money and money substitute systems that have been and will be created.
Why didn't you take him seriously?
A bit too idealistic for the real world. A very bright guy. But
what?
He doesn't understand how the world of investing works. What he's talking about with these virtual and complementary currencies is penny ante stuff. No real money in it.
Good thing you didn't take him seriously. Facebook already has that market locked up.
What?
Facebook. You know Facebook credits. They've already got a lock on the virtual currency space. The most recent analyst figures I've seen peg it at about $2.1 billion per year.
Wait. Say that again.
Virtual goods is a $2.1 billion marketplace.
And what percentage of that market does Facebook credits have?
Around 50%. Why?
Holy bejesus. He was right. This is big bucks. If Facebook takes a 30% commission on the credits they issue into the system, they are making almost $300 million a year on virtual currencies. Free and clear.
That's a lot of virtual pigs on Farmville.
Why in the world does anybody spend real money buying virtual pigs?
Beats me. But they're doing it.
This guy also told me that payments for virtual goods is PayPal's second largest source of revenue. Please check that out for me.
Will do.
He also said virtual goods is only the tip of the iceberg in the new money system. Could there really be 17 trillion airline miles now in circulation, with a market value of almost $1 trillion? If he's right, and all these money substitutes could be made to interact with each other, then he's on to something huge.
okay. So right now, we go through about the application and implication in social environment affected by usage of the complementary currency. Okay, the application that we can see is we know have a two program with the one purpose, which is Koru Kenya have a Eco Pesa and Bangla Pesa. This is not that we can call Bangla, but we can they call Bangla Pesa, which is Bangladesh Pesa. The problem is they create some medium of exchange or with size of paper vouchers, and after they made a paper vouchers, they pass from person to another person as a payment for products and services are known as paper vouchers. Also, they also allow any company in the community that is co-guaranteed by other companies in the network to get a credit line from the network at no interest, without interest. Also, in other hand, is unidirectional unit of credit inside a mutual currency system that serve as a mode of payment in addition to official money. Because of that, it also allowed a network members to trade with one another without having to use the national currency. Also, also is a contribute to the stabilization of the community in the face of monetary turbulence. So the effect from this program for the community, we can see the function of complementary currency can make their life more better, because they don't have um, they don't have any more money. So the effect program, they use the voucher, as we can call, as a complementary currency, to make their life more better than before. Okay. The impact of complementary currency, as we can see, they have the ability of the system to establish social bond of mutual support and solidarity has been highlighted as the most essential impact of complementary, examining the in case of complementary currency with predominantly social purpose. For example, we can see through this program, because of this program, they can make a system or social bonds from the company to another company with the local peoples who suffered more, um, more know each other, more helping each other. Okay, so the next impact is the potential of complementary currency system to develop social contacts based on mutual aid and solidarity has been identified to be the most important fact component to evaluate in the case of complementary currency system with the main social goals. For example, as a Furakipo, which is in Japan, Japan complementary currency system, uh, the following are the concern that this system are concerned with it because of the establishment of ancient communal connection, traditional community links, which is both local and certain circumstance have integrationals. The last but not least is regarding to the our research, our slide that we present in previous slide. Complementary currencies offer a practical opportunity to widen the concept of money. Money, whether generated by government, monopoly, or as a totally competitive medium, does not exhaust the possibilities of monetary design to stimulate social innovation. Complementary currency have the ability to broaden our scopes. They can also inspire new form of value creation based on social justice and sustainability. They may help to develop financial citizenships and democratic society. To achieve these aims, complementary currency must, or we can, of course, be complemented by other policies and reform. However, the stakes are too high to wait for one major response. We can start reshaping society right now by using decentralized financial arrangement, which is we can recommend to our government to make a complementary currency more better than others countries. That's all.